Competency-based standards in instructional leadership. This is the second domain in the order number 32 series of 2010, or we all known as the National Competency-Based Standards for School Heads. This video presents instructional leadership through supervision for school heads, which is driven by the National Competency-Based Standards for School Heads, or the NCB-SSH. We will deal more on how the instructional leadership changed through the test of time. There are also several challenges that have beset instructional leaders today. One best example I could cite would be inadequate reward and support system. My name is Aliane Cotamora, the presenter. Let us define first what is instructional leadership is. It is a shared function of the school heads. It could be the head teachers, a principal, or the school administrator, and the teachers or the master teachers who may be assigned as the coordinator of the school. Now, there is only one goal why there should be an instructional leader. It is to provide quality education or to achieve excellent student learning outcomes through the collaborative efforts of the school heads themselves, the teachers as the frontliners of teaching, the learners, and the parents. Hence the reason why there is innovation, because it is to suit the learning demands in the changing time. Supervision model for the changing times. Supervision has shifted from inspection to participation, from bureaucratic to being democratic, and from evaluation to support. Now, this shift created a different school landscape that demands the emergence of school leaders who are likewise instructional leaders. Now, here are best examples for the supervision model for the changing times. Letter A, from inspection to standard-based supervision, we have model number 1 for supervision as inspection. This was from pre-1900s. Started with inspection of facilities and instruction based on intuition, but later superintendents managed routines and inspected teachers. So before, supervision is only a perception or a concept that was not put into action yet. Not until the superintendents paved its way to do inspection to the teachers. This first stage of model exemplifies for the maintenance of existing standards of instruction in schools. For supervision as inspection, we have these three main concepts. Number 1, supervision of teachers was duly the function of administrators as managerial routines. Meaning to say, in supervision, it falls as one of the roles of an administrator and also as the manager of the school. The second one is supervisor's function is to instruct poorly prepared teachers to conform to standard practice in the organizational administration. It really shows how being a leader guides a teacher. Now, if you read the third concept, it stated there that there is unending support to achieve effective teaching and learning process. We have model number 2 for democracy in supervision, which was mid-century. This leadership aims more on how to help, on how to encourage and suggest ways so that our teachers and the learners will do their best in their own pace. Now, we have 4 major concepts here. Let's start with number 1, which says use scientific means of supervision. Now, there were methods and criteria that a teacher needs to meet during the supervision, and this is being implemented via NCBTS. We have number 2, supervisors were specialists and have the ability to analyze teaching situation. So the supervisor is somewhat like that Toronto kind of personnel, since he knows what are the teaching situations that works best in every situation as well. Number 3, the use of data gathering devices and tools was being introduced. Okay, Number 4, the last one, teachers must possess certain skills to develop new methods and materials for instruction. Now, this shows that a teacher by nature has a certain skill to create and personalize their own techniques, their own styles, methods in teaching, and materials for their day-to-day lesson. We have model number 3, which is supervision as leadership. This focuses on how a school head will do their supervising as a form of leadership. Please bear with me since this method has 5 long concepts to be explained. Let us start with the first one. States that leadership was guiding organization. This just explains on how a leadership normally works, which is guiding, commanding, and influencing the subordinates to do their best in achieving their goal. We have the second one, supervision to lead mutually accepted goals, extending democratic methods, improving classroom instruction, promoting research, and professional leadership. Now, I truly believe that leadership starts from the school heads and carried on to the teachers who has the same goal in mind. This makes it more democratic. Why? Because the school head will rest the responsibility to the teacher's shoulder, and by that, it easily promotes research and professional growth for the teacher's part. We have the third, use of clinical supervision was premised on the principle that teaching could be improved by a prescribed formal process of collaboration between teacher and the instructional leaders. They say that 2 heads are better than 1, which fits this third concept. In this case, having collaboration for the improvement of the teaching process really needs to be done with the leaders and the teacher as well that will provide it to the learners. Now for this, I truly believe that collaboration is actually the key. For the continuation, the fourth is in observation incorporated the cycle of supervision, which consisted of a pre-conference, observation, and post-conference. You know what? I really agree that it is a lot easier to define what a teacher needs to improve if there is a pre-conference, during observation, and post-conference supervision advices that should be made, because with this it can be traced what was done best and what could have done better for the teacher. We have the fifth one, supervision embrace the concepts of being development, professional growth plans, teacher empowerment, peer supervision, transformational, instructional leadership. Now, I think this is what the reason or the true reason why there is a supervision of leadership, because it brings growth for the teacher, not just professional but both personal and professional, because it truly shapes and empowers a teacher. Model number 4, standard-based supervision. Now, with the standard-based supervision, the main goal is to improve both teaching and learner performance. School heads act as the supportive instructional leaders that continue to evaluate teacher performance and mentor teachers to reflect and improve instruction and teaching. In this last model, we have 3 main concepts. Let's start with the emergence of standard-based reforms to raise academic achievement, new curriculum standards, teacher standards, school head standards, and high-stake tests. Because of the need to change to cope with the globally competitive world, there was standard-based to be followed. Hence the reason why there was a new curriculum implemented, and we all aware of the implementation of the K-12. This serves us to ensure that there is a high educational system in our country. The second is change the view of supervision from inspection to participation, from bureaucratic to democratic, and from evaluation to support. Now, in this era, the negative connotation of supervision was totally cleared out. Why? Can you please imagine? Okay, a teacher being afraid to be called out because of not performing well or not performing that much, which is a scenario that we can see previously or before in this model. Now, teachers nowadays will look forward on being supervised because it can help her improve. Now, the negative connotation or the negative view of supervision was turned as a positive action. Lastly, we have supervision focused on teaching learning standards for improvement of teaching learning outcomes. Though time changes, the norm changes, the culture and the curriculum as well, but the role of having supervision cannot be erased or cannot be changed. The main reason why there is a supervision because it truly improves the teaching learning outcomes. Letter B, perspective for school heads as instructional leaders. The term instructional leadership embraces actions that the principal or school heads make or delegate to each others to promote growth in students' learning. Now, as an instructional or curriculum leaders, their major tasks include letter A, ensuring curriculum quality and applicability. Letter B, integrating and aligning the curriculum. C, implementing the curriculum efficiently and effectively. We have letter D, regularly evaluating, enriching and updating the curriculum. Let us review again what is instructional leadership. So it is a shared function of the school heads. When we say school head, it could be a head teacher, it could be a principal, or a school administrator, together with the teacher or the master teachers who may be assigned is a coordinator or a school subject supervisor. Operationally described as the exercise of functions or roles that lead to the achievement of the school goals by providing quality education to achieve excellent student learning outcomes through the collaborative efforts of the school heads, the teachers, and the learner and parents. Now, let us not forget that it takes a whole village to educate a child. It is not just the job of the school head alone or the teacher, but also with the parents and all the community members.